This is Sulis Minerva. Her temple was beside the bathhouse in the Roman city of Bath. When the Romans came to Bath, they found that the Celts here worshipped Sulis as the goddess of the local spring. Sulis was very like the Roman goddess Minerva. So the Romans built a temple to Sulis Minerva where Celts and Romans could worship together. In ways like this, the Roman Empire absorbed the gods and religions of the peoples that they conquered. People were free to worship their own gods, as long as they sometimes also came to worship in the official temple where the divine majesty of the Roman emperor was also worshipped. Temples like this, the Pantheon in Rome. This wonderful building was built by the Emperor Hadrian as a temple to all the gods. Inside, it would have been filled with statues and altars to many different gods. The Romans had lots of gods. Important gods like Jupiter, the most important god who ruled heaven and earth and all life, and Mars, the god of war. Temples could be smaller than churches or mosques today, as people did not gather to worship together. Some temples were round, and some temples were square. Worshippers would come to pray and ask the god for what they wanted. Then they would make a sacrifice upon the altar as a kind of payment. The Bible describes a riot in the city of Ephesus, where the big temple of the local goddess Artemis was big business. A silversmith named Demetrius, who made silver shrines of Artemis, brought in a lot of business for the craftsmen here. He called them together and said, "You know, my friends, that we receive a good income from this business, and you see and hear how this fellow Paul says that gods made by human hands are no gods at all. There is a danger not only that our trade will lose its good name, but also that the temple of the great goddess Artemis will be discredited, and the goddess herself, who is worshipped throughout the province of Asia and the world, will be robbed of her divine majesty." When they heard this, they were furious and began shouting, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians!" Soon the whole city was in uproar. The people seized Gaius and Aristarchus, Paul's travelling companions from Macedonia, and all of them rushed into the theatre together. The assembly was in confusion. Some were shouting one thing, some another. Most of the people did not even know why they were there, and they all shouted in unison for about 2 hours, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians! Great is Artemis of the Ephesians!" The Romans had a god for almost everything. There was a god for the games at the Circus Maximus, gods for things like hope, mind and loyalty. There were even gods for doors, doorsteps, roads and houses. What a person believes affects how they treat others. Were the Romans kind? How did their gods affect the way that they lived?